Hello, everybody. I'm going to be showing you my favorite add-ons for World of Warcraft Classic and Classic Hardcore. Okay, starting off with the very first add-on that I'd recommend, and I don't want to spend too much time because I'm assuming that 99% of people have it because of how important it is, but it's Questie. As you can see on the right side of the screen, it shows your quests. If you go on your map, it'll show you where quests are, where you know, everything for your quests are, where to loot things or kill things of that nature. It's probably the most helpful add-on, that you could possibly use. Super cool. The next add-on that I'd recommend for Classic is Bartender 4. Basically, it allows you to move around your nameplates, or not your nameplates, your spells and action bars, fully customize them, and things like that. This is super helpful in my opinion. I like to have mine in a specific way. You can increase the size, decrease the size, just fully customize them. So I think that's super important. One other aspect is key bindings. Key bindings are super easy. You just put your mouse over it and then type the key that you want. And so that makes key binding easy, action bars easy. Bartender 4 is a very important add-on in my opinion. Number 3, an add-on that I truly love is Plater Nameplates. And what that does is when there's an enemy nearby you, it shows you just a redone version of nameplates. I like it because it shows dots. It also shows buffs on friendly players. There's an incredible amount of settings that you can do if you do /plater. You can see here you can be easily overwhelmed. But out of the box, it looks nice. It's good, and I don't make too many changes, at least not in Classic. The fourth add-on that I'd recommend is Bagnon. It basically combines all of your bags into one. And it's just super nice. There's a sorting function. You can show your bags here, but I use the click clean items and sort them all the time, and it's very helpful. You could search, and then it also shows you how much money you have on each character, things like that. Super helpful. The next add-on I'd like to show off is Leatrix Maps. As you can see here, it's smaller. It's on a full screen, and then you can also see where things are undiscovered. It's just gray. And then there's also these nice handy dandy green arrows that show you where to get out of the area that you're at. And then it also shows spirit healers where dungeons are, and improved, for boats. There's a boat icon and tells you where the boat goes. I find this super helpful. There's also a coordinate system where you can see that, and then you can point out things specifically. It also shows where your player is. Really cool add-on. It's super nice, and I think you definitely would want this one. The next add-on that I recommend is Quartz. It's just a fancy cast bar. You can fully customize it. You can change the color, the size, the location, if you have like an icon next to it. You can see my target has one, my pet has one, all things like that. I think it's super easy to use, super cool, adds a nice flavor to you as a person, and yeah, highly recommended. Another super handy add-on for Classic is What Can I Train, or What's Training, and it's a little tab here, and it shows you what you can train at each level and the cost. This is like, I'm looking at this all the time while I'm leveling to see what can I get. Is it worth going back to town to train, or can I skip until the next 2 levels? I find this a very, very, very handy add-on that I use all the time. The next add-on that I'm sure a lot of people have as well is Details Damage Meter. This is super fun in dungeons to see who's doing well in the dungeons as far as damage. You can use it for healing too. There's all sorts of customization. I don't want to spend too much time because I'm assuming a lot of you have this already, but you can mouse over it, see your spells and things like that. It's super, super, super nice add-on, especially when you're in dungeons, raiding, all that stuff. An add-on that I'd recommend for flavor to your game is the VoiceOver Sounds. It's an AI, voiceover for all of the NPCs that you interact with on WoW Classic. And I'm going to give you a quick example real quick.
Bah! I almost forgot I need to get breakfast ready. Adventurer, get yourself moving and get me some tail asher eggs. I'll need at least 3 of them if I'm going to have enough for tomorrow's meal.
So you kind of get the idea there. It's super cool. I like it a lot for questing and just immersing in the world. The next add-on I'd recommend is WeakAuras. Now this is a super, super customizable, complex add-on, and it doesn't need to be complex, but it can be extremely complex. And it essentially allows you to do almost anything that you can imagine in WoW. And here's some just really simple ideas. And this is on the accompanying wago.io website. But you can see there's different UIs, like really cool where you can put the spells together, things like that. And these are all, you know, made by the community. This is not made by WoW or Blizzard or anything. And it's just like a super interesting way to put all your spells together. And it could replace or basically, you know, augment or help with bartender. Depends on what you like. But it doesn't need to be just, you know, the spells and stuff. There's all sorts of different tracking that you can do, things like that. But you could use its whole video. It's so complex and interesting. So I'd recommend you look that up if you're interested in that. But definitely a recommended add-on to explore. Another add-on I'd recommend is Atlas, in the Atlas kind of family. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. Atlas is a map of the dungeons. There's also Atlas loot that shows you, you know, for every boss, what did they drop, the drop rates and all that stuff. Super interesting, super cool if you love dungeons. Very, very in-depth add-on and super recommended. The next add-on I'd like to show off is the Elite Player Frame, and as you level, it progresses in complexity and coolness. So at the lower levels, your frame, like my character right now, doesn't have one, but as you get higher level, I'll show on the screen right here, it actually looks really cool as you go on. Next add-on I'd like to show is XToLevel. It basically gives you some details on how many mobs you need to kill before the next level, how many dungeons you need to do, things like that. I think it's really helpful just to kind of keep an eye on how things are progressing, and I like to replace it with my experience bar completely, but you don't need to. As you can see here, that says time to level, the experience bar, how many quests you need to do to level, and how many things to kill to get to the next level. The next add-on is called CharacterStatsClassic. It basically shows all of these extra stats that you have after Classic, so starting in TBC, but in Classic they weren't there. So again, you have base stats, melee, ranged, spell, and this is nice just if you are a data kind of person and you like to have all this stuff. I find it really pretty helpful.